Welcome everybody, I am Public Function. How are we all doing today? Is everybody okay? Yes, good, yes, no, yes, you're good. Excellent. Right, okay, so I wanted to talk today about, obviously, for those who don't know or don't follow me on Twitter or don't even know who the fuck I am. On Monday I twittered. Twitter's below. Follow me. And I woke up at 7 o'clock with my son, who went, Dad, the bathroom has flooded. Later discovered that it just wasn't the bathroom was flooded. Part of the living room to my left here, the water had also gone on to the top landing part and leaked down through here. And unfortunately, directly to my left, down there, is my computer. Luckily it was turned off. I'll tell you why. Luckily it was turned off. But it got drenched, basically. It was the outside, the case itself was soaking, and there were some components inside that were wet. The reason I'm saying it was lucky it was off was because I went to bed leaving an upload running. Went to watch something on Netflix on my tablet, and found that lo and behold, the email pating had gone and told me that it was up. So luckily for me, I was actually luckily I'm rambling. I want to know what I want to say. I just can't get the freaking words out today. What's up with that? Normally I can't shut the fuck up talking. The water came down, the outside case was soaking, some of the components were inside wet. As I said, luckily I was left the computer on to do an upload, and I was going to come down in the morning before I went to work and turn it off. But what was lucky was I was actually still watching something on my tablet on Netflix when I heard my phone dangle down here to tell me the YouTube video had gone up and the scheduled upload had been sorted. So I thought, while I'm awake, I'll come down, I'll turn my computer off. That was technically the saving grace, because if I'd left my computer on, the leak had happened, I would have lost my computer. I would have had a very large, very expensive paperweight, which I would have been, at this present moment, unable to replace. So that was a bit of lady luck shining on me for that. That was amazing. I just couldn't believe that when I woke up in the morning that had happened. I thought, that was it. It took 2 days for me to dry my computer out. Basically, to even get it to boot back up properly, the whole system was stripped back down. I mean, I self-build my PCs anyway, so it's not a great issue. But I had to strip the thing all the way back down and, rebuild the goddamn thing all the way back up again, component by component, to make sure that everything was okay, that nothing had shorted, that nothing had popped, and everything was good. So, thank God. So by Wednesday evening, I was back. I was back playing games and recording videos for you wonderful people. So yeah, that was really fucking lucky. But the house itself, I'm still waiting for parts of the kitchen, because whereas my house is, where I'm looking at the camera now, the wall behind me is my kitchen, and then above that's the bathroom. So yeah, so the water basically goes through there and down into there. So all the kitchen light fittings have water coming out of them. It's not a great electrical issue because all the wires are covered, but it was 7 o'clock in the morning, so lights should have been getting turned on, but no, there was no way I was turning that on. So every towel in the house was used to mop up the water, including the mop and bucket to mop that up. I ended up having to take the day off work because the leaking took till 11 o'clock that day to stop dripping through everywhere. So many towels put through spins to be able to soak up the water. The traditional pans and mop buckets and things like that used to put the water together. And literally, I think today my kitchen is starting to look like it's returning to normal. I am exceptionally lucky that it happened really late. It seems to have happened really early on in the morning, although there's enough water there for it to have been on for a few hours. But I think it's definitely happened after 2 o'clock, and it's a drip that's happened relatively slowly, but Yeah, it's been, wow, fuck me, a nightmare. I was seriously worried that there was the possibility that my computer would have gone, but a bigger problem is my kitchen ceiling could have came in. It could have collapsed on me, so that could have been an even bigger problem. And I'll show you the actual culprit itself. Okay, so this is an elbow joint. Okay, so this goes from the overflow pipe from my toilet down to the outside world, so it just spits the water out. My toilet was overflowing constantly, and that's what caused it. So what's happened is this little joyous device here, supposed without this, like, had done this, had literally cracked about that. All the water was coming out of the overflow pipe out to here and straight into my bathroom floor. So that's what happened. Oh my fucking god, that was it was disaster averted. It really was disaster averted. I'm really fucking glad. I'm really fucking glad that my house is okay. Fucking hell, I'm so glad my house is okay. And that my PC's okay. I don't do a lot. I mean, I've spoke to you guys before. I don't do a lot of socializing outside of work because all my socializing is done by friends. All my friends are online because everybody I know lives in Germany, in Belgium, in other parts of where I live nearby. Other parts of Scotland, all over England. So, you know, it's been difficult to actually have any type of social life without it costing me hundreds of pounds every day to travel around and see people. So most of my social life is in there. If my computer died, it would have ended up killing my social life, probably killed my very young channel at the moment. And I don't know what I would have done. I would have probably just gone upstairs and stolen my son's computer. You know, that's what I would have done. I would have just said, sod you, you've got a console. I'm taking the computer. Done it before. I did it when my 980 blew up within the first couple of months. He got my 770 GTX. And my 980 popped, so I had to go back. The RMA process was crap. Took 30 days for it to come back. So I wasn't not gaming for 30 days. It was just not happening. So I gave my son my backups graphic card, which is a GTX 640. So he got that, and I got the I took his what do you call it? I took the 770 back so I could actually play things. That's quite evil, but yeah, no. I'm the grown up, and it's my house, and I pay for everything, so it's mine. Yeah, so that was basically disaster averted from there. The next thing I was going to talk about and mention is a big congrats to the PG UK network. It was announced on Twitter last night, which is on the 4th of December, that Danny from PG UK has helped and managed to secure a sponsorship with Nitrous Networks, and PG UK Network now have a Minecraft server. I was up late last night, basically starting in a start area. So when you come into the server, I've generated what is basically a meeting point with a building in it. I've got to populate the building with some really basic starter things to help people out. So when people come in, they're not going to be completely flummoxed, and they're going to have something, you know, something to work with that's not completely killer. They're not going to get replenished. It's going to be a first come, first serve. So once they're in there, that's it. I'm going to put simple things out, like a furnace is going to be in there. A crafting table is going to be in there. You know, little simple things like that. So people don't have to struggle when they start off worrying about shit. There are going to be some rules and guidelines based on this as a community server for the PG UK network community. Anybody from the PG network community can use it. If you invite people in, guys, and you're from PG UK Network, and these people aren't, you are fully responsible for their actions. There will be probably rules and things posted up, but I think that has to be hashed out. That has to be hashed out completely with all of PG UK to find out what we're gonna stipulate as a rule. But one of the basics is going to be there's going to be no griefing. Don't grief other people's stuff. Remember, this is up here, so you guys can go into Minecraft and record a series and do your thing in Minecraft without what's what I'm looking for? Without ruining for other people. You go into someone's property and grief them, and in the middle of a series, you've ruined their series. You've literally killed it. So it's all about a bit of growing up, a bit of responsibility, and enjoying enjoying the fact that, guys, we've managed to procure from Nitrous Networks a free Minecraft server, and it's not a shabby one. It's a really good, spec one. So yeah, guys, you need to be aware of that, and that's really good. So that's fantastic news, and GG to PG UK for actually being able to get us that sponsorship. The last thing I want to talk about is me, because I've realised I've done about 3 or 4 blogs, and not one of them, put it that way, not one of them actually. I talk about myself and who I am and what I'm about and all that kind of shit. So I'm gonna do, guys, a quick overview of who I am. Obviously, for those who know in Twitter, you can see that on my Twitter account, my profile. I'm from Livingston. I was born here. I lived here for about 15 years. No, I didn't. I lived here through my very young age. I was born here. Then my parents moved to Perth, in Scotland again, not Australia. Perth in Scotland, nothing glamorous. I lived there for a few years. Parents then came back to Livingston again. I was here till I was about 15, just over 15 years old, nearly 6. Well, yeah, just over 15 years old. I then joined what was known in the British Army as the juniors. I joined the military police at 15, served as a junior soldier for a year. You do a year's training. It's like basically leaving high school and going to a military college for a year, basically. So you get trained in everything in the army does, but you also get further education from that. Left there, went to the military police training depot, which was in Chichester back then. Spent about 3-4 months there training to be a police officer, learning law, all the kind of things police officers learn to do. Passed out from there, left the training depot, served in Edinburgh, which was fantastic, for 3 months, and unluckily I was there for the tattoo, which was completely hectic because I spent most of my life in blues, which is basically our #1 dress uniform, which is the most uncomfortable thing on the planet to wear. I left Edinburgh, was posted to a place called Werl, W-E-R-L. This is in Germany, which is about, I think, 50 kilometers east of Dortmund. I was there for about 2.5 years. I left, got posted away from Dortmund, got posted to Catterick. Spent 3 years in Catterick. Left Catterick, went to Northern Ireland, served in Londonderry, or Derry, if you prefer. That's what I call it. Spent 3.5 years work in Derry, basically 3.5 years in Derry and 3 years of it in civilians, working in there in civilians for 3 years. Left Northern Ireland and went back to Chichester to the training regiment to serve in the Central Records Intelligence Office, which basically is the place where we hold all the military's criminal records and all that nonsense. So we were the ones that were liaising with the local police forces in the UK and also Interpol. I was there for just over a year, and the turn of the millennium, I decided at 27 that it was time to leave the army. So I left, moved back to my parents for 3 months, and then met someone, moved out, and then basically had a lot of jobs. Most of my jobs were in IT. That's kind of where I came from because of the job I was doing at the Criminal Records Intelligence Office. I moved into IT. I worked with a company that was called Blue Group. They, I think, went bust. I worked for them for about 10 months. Moved into contracting with IBM. Was with IBM for about 2 years. Then got what's called the TUPE. That's a transfer under protection of employment. when IBM lost the contract with the Bank of Scotland, when they became HBOS. Then worked for another company called Computer Center doing support. I was a senior support analyst there. When I'd finished being a senior support analyst there, I was then two-paid from Computer Center, into Fujitsu Siemens, which I lasted 6 months until they made me redundant, which I later discovered was illegal the way they did it. But unfortunately, a colleague of mine at the time was able to sue them for it. But part of his agreement of the sue was a non-disclosure agreement, which means no one else could find out what the solicitors and lawyers did to actually win the case, which means nobody else could win a case. Because as far as I'm aware, they fought very hard to win it and did. So that was a real fucking blow. I was unemployed for 6 months, and during that period, I basically was learning development, mostly web app development, websites, things like that. And a job came up very close to where I live in a little village called Pumferston. Yes, I'll laugh. Pumferston. Yeah, Pumferston, which is literally just within the boundaries of Livingston itself. For a company called Indikium Web, I worked for a man called John Hughes, who's now basically runs all of the search engine optimization, the SEO side of a company called Storm ID in Edinburgh. That company, unfortunately, within 9-10 months of me working, they went bankrupt. I was unemployed again for 5 more months until I got a job contracting with a company called Technology Consult. I was there 2 months when I eventually got made permanent. And I stayed there for a couple of years. Then Technology Consult became part of the Union Group. Were rebranded to Union Tech. Worked there for a while, left, and then I am now working where I work now at a company called X Design in Edinburgh, who are a mobile solutions or a mobile platform developer. Basically, I'm still a web developer as such, and I basically am the team lead for the web dev team. That's web and development operations, which means I'm responsible for all the servers and support, or anything that goes wrong support-wise for those. It's up to our team to fix it. Plus, we build front-end and back-end. I'm mainly a back-end developer where we build APIs, which is Application Processing Interface. I think it stands for, I can't remember now. For mobile phones, for the mobile apps, we build all our mobile apps are native. We build everything native in iOS and Android. We also, my direct boss also does the Windows Phone, but there's not much comes through for that, to be perfectly honest. It's all iOS and Android, the two largest platforms out there. But when we do need to do it for Windows Phone, that's done from there. And pretty much that's my life as such. There are other things that's happened in my life I don't really normally publicly talk about. As people know, I have a son. I also have a daughter who I hadn't until recently spoke to or seen for about 15 years. So when she came back into my life, it was just complete joy. Hiya, baby, how you doing? My son's actually upstairs right now. Little shit, he's not making any noise, which is good. He's probably playing something crap. Because, he's 14, and that's what 14-year-olds do. They don't play good games. So yeah, that's basically me, and that's basically me. That's my very brief history of me. Guys, I'm thinking of if people want to know more or want to ask me anything, I'm quite open to answer questions. So I do have a subreddit now. So it's I'll put it somewhere on the screen somewhere, whether it goes over there or not, or don't know. But basically, it's subreddit /r public function. I'm slowly but surely getting my videos up onto Reddit. It's a long drawn process when I've got I think it's about 130 videos. That's excluding all the Armour ones I've got. 130 videos, so it takes a slow process for me to go through each one, share it off into Reddit onto my subreddit. I've also started putting in some Rainbow Six videos. I got access to closed and open betas. So a couple of the guys I know, we recorded a couple of videos on there. So thanks everybody for watching those and liking those. Some guys done a dislike on the first one. Basically, it's Rainbow Six Siege playing with the guys on we had a comeback victory. It's a highlight reel. And somebody disliked it, so hey, can't please everybody all the time, can you? So yeah, so I'm going to think about doing a Q&A on Reddit. I would probably want to do it originally on Twitter. But I think it's a lot more difficult to control this on Twitter. It's much more harder to keep an eye on what's going on Twitter. So I'm thinking about using my subreddit for doing a Q&A. If you guys are interested in that, then let me know. Let me know in Twitter if you follow me. If not, why not? Follow me. Woohoo! But yeah, let me know on Twitter if you're interested in the Q&A. Just use a hashtag in Twitter, which will be #Q&A pubs. Q&A pubs, not an ampersand, which is the squiggles. Write the word and. So Q&A pubs. So if you can do that, or at least comment in the video underneath. I've always got comments open, but no one comments, so I never do things like a comments video. I have had a couple of good comments off people. One's from Skin. He said, "It was a pleasure to play with you, sir. Thanks for taking part." Hey, Skin. Love you, baby. Yeah, it's I don't really normally get many comments in a video. I think to get proper comments in a video, you've got to be a very popular YouTuber. And as I said, I am a very baby channel, so people don't normally tend to comment. In fact, I love the fact that people do like videos, and I do like the fact that people like videos. So I'd like for people to keep that trend on. If you don't like it, then don't just dislike. Dislike and tell me why you don't like it. That'd be helpful, because then if it's something I'm doing right, I can change it. Right, I've witted on now for quite some time. So I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to leave, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And I've got no idea what video is going to get released tomorrow. I haven't even decided, so I'm just going to make it up as I go along. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later. See you later. Bye, bye, bye.